Teacher Talking Sports, what it does, what it do, how we live. And we're just 4 days away from the NFL regular season kicking off. I recently did videos on the best teams to take in week one of survivor pools, my week one picks against the spread. You could check them out. But in today's video, I am going to predict the 14 playoff teams in the NFL. I did it by using a tier list. Never did a tier list before. Of course, I know they're very popular, but let's take a look at how my tier list came out. So my tiers start at the top, the AFC playoff teams. Put the AFC playoff teams at the top because it's almost a consensus agreement that the AFC is clearly the better conference. So below that is the NFC. Of course, 7 teams were put in each tier. Close, but not quite. That are the 3 teams in the AFC and the NFC. 3 best teams in each that I expect not to get in the playoffs. So basically seeds 8 through 10. Playoffs, those will be seeds 11 through 15 in the AFC and the NFC. And my bottom tier, better chance of Ja Rule having another number one hit. I'm actually a Ja Rule fan. Where would I be without you? But these are the teams that I'm expecting to finish last in the conference because, Ja Rule's what, 46, 47. He's not having another hit. But who knows? Maybe if one of these 2 teams make the playoffs, we'll hear Always on Time Part 2 with Ashanti in the future. But so my AFC playoff teams, maybe the biggest surprise when you look at it is the team directly in the middle. That is the Cleveland Browns. So I'd probably pick them as the 7 seed, but I am expecting the AFC North to be the best division in football this year. AFC East would probably be close, but you see I got 3 teams from the AFC North in the playoffs: Baltimore, Cincinnati, and Cleveland. I mean, Cleveland, they got a lot of high-end talent. One of the best offensive lines in the NFL. Zadarius Smith should be a better edge rusher pair alongside Myles Garrett than Jadeveon Clowney was. They got Nick Chubb, arguably the best running back in the NFL, and I'm expecting Deshaun Watson maybe not reach his, peak Houston Texan days, but to definitely be a better quarterback than he showed last season after returning from suspension. Miami, they're a huge question mark because how many games is Tua going to play? That's not an easy answer, but the defense still has a boatload of talent, even with Jalen Ramsey expected to be out until around December. Jeff Wilson is out 4 games, but they still got Raheem Mostert to handle the running back duties. Otherwise, probably not many surprises. AFC South, known as seen by many as not a very good division, although I am higher on the second place team, and I'm sure a lot of people are. Bills win the AFC East. Game or 2 over the Dolphins. Bengals and Ravens battle it out for the AFC North, but I've said in previous videos how I expect Lamar Jackson to have his best season since his MVP year, so the second best season of his career. NFC playoff teams, I'll admit, not many surprises, although my favorite team I did not have making the playoffs. I would probably have the Lions as the team I'm least confident in to actually make the postseason. Um, I'm not a fan of the defense at all, and the defense wasn't good last season. But Jared Goff had a great year last year. Yes, Jameson Williams was it will be suspended the first 6 games of the season. But what did he do last season? He had 1 catch. St. Brown, arguably one of the best receivers in the game. Jameer Gibbs, David Montgomery should be taking that Jamal Williams role as goal line back. So again, the NFC just isn't deep at all. So I'm gonna put the Lions in the postseason. Other teams wouldn't surprise many. While I think the Vikings are definitely ripe for regression from last season, I'm still picking them to go, I'll say 10-7, win the NFC North, maybe a tiebreaker over the Lions, or the Lions finish 9-8. Saints probably play in the league's worst division. I don't even have any of the other teams in the close but not quite category. Eagles, obvious choice. 49ers, most people would agree. Cowboys, yes, I'm a Giants fan, but I can't be biased. They'll get in, although let's be honest, they're probably not going to do much once they get to the postseason. And the Seahawks, they're another team I'm not 100% certain on. Not that I don't believe in Geno Smith, but we got to see him do it again. But they just got a lot of talent. Of course, got Bobby Wagner back on the team. First round pick Witherspoon at cornerback, pairing him with Reek Woolen. Just a lot of talent along that team. I got to put him in the playoffs, especially in the weak NFC. So the close, but not quite. So my top three teams in the NFC, I don't have making the playoffs. The Packers. I'm expecting them to be okay, 8 and 9, maybe somewhere around there. Nobody could assuredly say that they know how Jordan Love is going to do this season. The Rams, I almost took them out of this category because Cooper Cup, this hamstring issue seems like it could linger throughout the season. But again, the NFC is just very weak. They still have Aaron Donald, still have Matthew Stafford, although that defense, other than Aaron Donald, just not a lot of experience. They did bring back John Johnson, but I almost took them out and put probably the Falcons instead. But anyhow, the Giants, man, that hurts because I am a Giants fan, but I'm not trying not to be biased with these. The Giants' schedule is super challenging this season, and it's just hard for me to have faith with them when they play teams like Dallas and Philly because they just can't seem to be able to figure them out. Of course, went 0-5 combined against those two teams last season. So I hope I'm wrong with that one, but I got them on the outside looking in. A lot of people are probably picking the Chargers to make the playoffs, and the AFC is just so stacked that you got to leave some good teams out, and Chargers are one of them. Just too many injury questions. I mean, whether it's Keenan Allen, whether it's Mike Williams, whether it's Rashawn Slater, whether it's Joey Bosa, whether it's J.C. Jackson. You don't know if these guys are going to stay healthy. Justin Herbert, for all the talent he has, still has a goose egg when it comes to the playoff wins and only one playoff game in his career. So the Chargers probably finish over 500, but with the AFC being as good as it is, I'm picking them not to make the playoffs. And the Jets, another very good team that I'm picking to miss the playoffs. Aaron Rodgers, I'm expecting to be somewhere in between how he performed last year and his two MVP seasons prior to last season. So somewhere in the middle of there. The defense definitely does have a lot of talent led by Sauce Gardner. Brees Hall, we'll see when he's back to 100%, but did add Dalvin Cook. But again, you got to leave some good teams out. And the offensive line is definitely a question mark. I mean, right now their tackles are 37 or 38-year-old Dwayne Brown and Mekhi Becton, who has barely played over the past 2 years. And the Titans, I probably have the Titans higher than a lot of people, but I think they could win some games on the back of Derrick Henry. And Mike Vrabel, I think, is one of the more underrated coaches in the NFL. I just think he won't let the bottom fall out with the team. And say what you want about Ryan Tannehill, he's definitely regressed from, let's say, 2020 and 2021, but they often do win games that he starts. So playoffs. These teams, I'm picking 11 through 15 in the conference. Patriots, Steelers, Falcons, Panthers, Bears, Broncos, Colts, Raiders, Buccaneers, and Commanders. Probably say the team from the AFC and the team from the NFC that came the closest to being in the close but not quite category would be the Pittsburgh Steelers in the AFC. Between them and the Titans and the Falcons, like I said, thought about putting them over the Rams with that Cooper Cup news. And again, the Ja Rule category. Can he have another number one hit? Maybe if the Texans or Cardinals somehow find a way into the playoffs. I think the Texans will be a little bit better than last season, but again, the AFC is just so loaded. Thought about putting the Colts at the bottom, but the Colts really do have an easy schedule. Um, Texans isn't too difficult either, but I think the Colts is even easier where they'll find a way to squeak out some wins. Maybe Anthony Richardson has some dynamic games against lesser defenses. And the Cardinals, the majority agree with that, they could be the worst team in the NFL. We still don't know if Joshua Dobbs or Clayton Tune will start week one. Probably Joshua Dobbs, a guy they just acquired in a trade, maybe a week to 10 days ago. So there you have it. Those are my 100% guaranteed to be correct NFL tiers for the 2023 season. All right, maybe not 100% guaranteed. Um, Let me not sound too cocky. I'm sure to get some of those wrong. I tried to make some picks that went against the grain that many people wouldn't do. With the NFC, it was hard because, again, there just aren't many good teams in the NFC. But I feel like more people than not are not picking the Browns to make the playoffs. More people are probably picking the Chargers and Jets to do so. But what do you think? Which tiers do you agree with? Who would you move up or down a tier from what I did? But we'll see how these go at the end of the year, how accurate I was. I know I predicted the playoff teams last year, and I got a few wrong. I think I picked the Raiders to make the playoffs. That surely didn't come true. But I got more right than not. But anyhow, don't forget to subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to subscribe. Like the video, share the video, hit the bell for notifications. I'm out.